Hello everyone. Last night I sat down and I watched the entire third season of Master of None. Straight off the bat, I've got to say it's not really like a third season at all. It's really like a spin-off TV show or like an anthology season or something like that. You guys should be prepared. It's going to be totally different from season 1 and season 2. If you guys have never seen season 1 and 2, I highly recommend that you turn on Netflix tonight. It's one of their best originals. Watch it. It's a comedy TV show. It's going to make you laugh so much. It's going to make you feel so good inside. It's overall just a superb TV show. So we have been waiting 5 years for the third season of this show. This show is no longer about Aziz Ansari or Dev, unfortunately. It's no longer about his single life in New York and what he gets up to be unsingle in New York. Instead, what this show is about, it's about his friend Denise and her new marriage with her wife Alicia. Found that hard to say. That's not the only change though. There's more changes to come. Every episode in this season is shot in 3.4 ratio. Initially, what I thought is this is supposed to give the feeling of watching a home video, because the first 3 scenes we do see year, month and date up in the top corner. So I thought, oh, it's going to be like a home video. But that's not the only change with the ratio. What actually happens then is the camera is placed in random places around the house. So we almost feel like we're a fly on the wall watching these scenes and watching their daily life. Also, most of the time, it doesn't feel like a TV show when it's in the house. It feels like a play, like we're watching the theater. Just the way the camera doesn't move at all and it's just stationary and we're just watching these people interact. It's definitely a different style choice. There's also quite a lot of lingering shots here. This is definitely a stylistic choice. Some people haven't liked this. Some people did. I actually thought it had purpose, so I did enjoy it. For one example, we do see Denise. She's sitting in her car and she's just there listening to music, eating a hamburger for like a minute or two, and there's no dialogue. Some say that's a lot pointless. It's so boring. Why are we watching this? But, it is to show points in the show where she is getting distant from her wife and she's no longer eating meals with her wife. It's to display those kind of story points. There's also another lingering shot, where she'll be on a swing just looking at the sky, and it's like, that one's a bit artsy. There was no purpose for that. But there's another one that does have purpose that clearly sticks out, and it is when Alicia, the other actress in this show, or the other main character, she's in a laundromat, and at this point, she's quite hormonal. She's trying to go through IVF, and she is just an emotional wreck. You can feel her heartbreak. You can feel the emotion just going through her. But all she's doing is just waiting for her laundry, sitting like this, and you can just feel how she's feeling in that moment. It's portrayed really well when the camera works in those ways. But there are other ways where the camera is just sitting there watching these two people do their laundry, and it's just like, whatever, man. It's getting a bit artsy and wanky here. But apart from that camera work, the episodes also feel really different this time around. They're not even called episodes. They are called chapters. So we get 5 chapters. What I did really like about this new chapter separation is that they feel like their own individual stories. Yes, there is a story that's arcing all over the season, but when you watch one episode or chapter, there's its individual story. It starts, it has its own arc, and then it has a definite conclusion in the end. This storytelling style really comes into play is in chapter 5. We get a full 50-minute episode solely spent on Naomi Aki's character, Alicia. She's coming to the end of her fertility and she's looking to get pregnant through IVF. And we get to see her beginnings of this story to the end and all the struggles that happen in between. And overall, it is where this TV series really shined for me. If you were not to watch any other episode, you could just watch this episode alone because it does stand out as its own story. It is utterly brilliant and it's still in my mind 24 hours later. I would even say that as an individual episode, it's probably going to rank quite high, maybe in my top 10 or top 20 episodes of all time. And that's coming from a guy. So that's definitely one of the best parts of this TV series. Her acting is utterly brilliant in it. Every time she's on screen, she absolutely kills it. That leads into my negatives, guys. Dev is only in the show for about 2 or 3 scenes and they're really short. I know Aziz Ansari doesn't want to be in the spotlight and he doesn't really want to appear on camera that much anymore because of things that have happened to him in the past. However, this show, in my opinion, really needed more Dev because it just didn't feel like Master of None. Also, this show needed more comedy, in my opinion. The only time we get comedy is those 2 Dev scenes, and also we get comedy when it's used to cut tension. When it's used to cut tension, it works quite effectively. For example, one scene in an IVF clinic, we see a couple that's just been told they can't have babies. They're crying, they're walking away. It's a heartbreaking scene. But immediately we see another couple that's talking about how the doctor just condescended her vagina. So it's extremely funny. But it's only used as that tool. We don't get enough comedy overall. And I feel like the season really needed more comedy overall. The last episode too didn't work for me. I did say that each episode has its own story, but it should have went out with more of a bang. In my opinion, they couldn't write a good ending to this couple's story. So they left it as like love is uncertain and, you go through a lot and nothing's like going to be the happy ending in true love. But it just didn't work for me. I actually found episode 5, I think it is, or episode 5, the last episode, totally pointless. I wouldn't even think it's worth watching. All right, guys, so here's my final recommendation. If you're a fan of season 1 and season 2, I would say you've definitely got to taper your expectations down quite a lot, and you've got to be aware that it's not really season 3. It's going to be a totally different sub or spin-off season. If you have that mindset, you're probably going to enjoy it. I did enjoy it even as a guy with the character change. One recommendation I will make too is you guys should watch it for 30 minutes, okay? If you don't really like it and it's not your style in the first 30 minutes, you'll know then. Because the show doesn't change its style and it doesn't change character at all. The way the first 30 minutes of the show are really how the whole season is. So if you don't like it then, just skip to the IVF episode. I think it's the second last episode. Just watch that one. It's a standalone one. You can just watch that and enjoy that. All right, guys. Thanks for sticking around for so long. Thanks for listening to my review. Please subscribe for the future reviews coming every week. And please click the like button. Thanks for sticking around. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.